What is going on, guys? The 2020 NFL regular season is over. It's time for the 14 remaining teams to square off in an epic battle for the Lombardi Trophy. This is the first year with the expanded postseason format, which includes an extra wild card spot in each conference, with only the number 1 seeds earning a first-round bye. At this time last year, we predicted a New Orleans Saints Super Bowl victory over the Chiefs. At least we got the AFC winner right. Time for us to give it another shot. Here's how we see the entire 2020 NFL postseason playing out. Wildcard round AFC. 7 Indianapolis Colts at 2 Buffalo Bills. The Colts signing of Philip Rivers turned out to be one of the franchise's most impactful moves in recent memory. Rivers flourished in his reunion with Frank Reich, throwing for 4,169 yards and 24 touchdowns against 11 interceptions. Rivers upgraded the quarterback position big time. Rookie Jonathan Taylor crossed 1,000 rushing yards, but it was the Colts' powerful O-line and their defense that got them here. Ken DeForest Buckner, Darius Leonard, and Justin Houston stopped the MVP candidate Josh Allen. The latter set franchise records across the board in 2020, but that won't matter if he doesn't bring Buffalo their first playoff win since '95. Both teams are extremely well balanced on both sides of the ball, and they're also extremely well coached. Doesn't seem like many folks are giving the Colts a chance, but this battle should be a lot closer than you think. That said, we trust Allen more than Rivers in this tight, pressure-filled setting. Prediction: Bills 27, Colts 20. 6 Cleveland Browns at 3 Pittsburgh Steelers. The Browns barely outlasted the Steelers, who sat Ben Roethlisberger in Week 17 to clinch their first playoff berth since 2002. The Browns' last playoff game, coincidentally, was a wild card round loss to the Steelers at Heinz Field. Will history repeat itself? Kevin Stefanski is out this week along with a few others, so now they're going to have a crafty game plan against a team that finished 3rd in both yards against and scoring defense. Ultimately, it's tough for us to give the edge to an inexperienced Browns team with problems in the secondary against a quarterback with 4 stud pass catchers, as well as 2 Super Bowl rings and 21 playoff games under his belt. So, prediction: Steelers 24, Browns 16. 5 Baltimore Ravens at 4 Tennessee Titans. Well, this is quite the revenge game. As you may recall, the 6th-seeded Titans ended Lamar Jackson's MVP season in the divisional round last year, cruising to a stunning 28-12 road victory. 2,000-yard man Derrick Henry has proven to be a handful for this otherwise super stingy Baltimore defense, having rushed for, wait for it, 328 yards in his last 2 outings against Don Martindale's defense. And as great as the Titans' offense is with Henry, A.J. Brown, Corey Davis, and Ryan Tannehill, this defense is nothing close to the dominant unit that destroyed Jackson and company last year. Also, John Harbaugh is the type of guy who won't be fooled by the same team 3 times in 12 months. Sweet revenge awaits the Ravens. Prediction: Ravens 26, Titans 20. Alright, NFC. 7 Chicago Bears at 2 New Orleans Saints. Thanks to the expanded postseason format, an Arizona Cardinals collapse, and strong play from Mitch Trubisky down the stretch, the Bears narrowly snuck into the postseason at 8-8. That's gotta suck for Dolphins fans, whose team missed out on the playoffs with a 10-6 record in the AFC. But back to the Bears. Trubisky's late resurgence was quite inspiring after being benched in favor of Nick Foles. He most certainly saved his own job, as well as those of GM Ryan Pace and head coach Matt Nagy. The Bears are kind of a fun feel-good story after falling to 5-7 on the year following 6 straight losses. But the New Orleans Saints are better in literally every aspect: coaching, quarterback, offense, defense, and special teams. This is likely Drew Brees' last ride, and the Saints aren't going to watch it end in the wildcard round. The Bears defense might keep them in for 2 or 3 quarters, but the lack of playmakers on offense will prevent an upset from happening. Prediction: Saints 30, Bears 16. 6 Los Angeles Rams at 3 Seattle Seahawks. With Jared Goff sidelined, backup John Wolford did his job and helped the Rams get past the unraveling Cardinals to log down a playoff berth. Sean McVay's team will now face their arch rivals in the wildcard round. The Rams hope Goff will be able to return from a broken thumb, but it seems unlikely. Sorry to be blunt, but we can't see LA beating a Russell Wilson and Pete Carroll-led team on the road with the backup quarterback. It's just probably not going to happen. I mean, you never know, but yeah. Thing is, the Seahawks tend to play down to inferior opponents, and the Rams still have McVay and 2 game-changing defensive stars in Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey. This game, with or without Goff, will be very close, but Wilson and Carroll have never lost a playoff game at home. The Seahawks are the better team all around. It'll show on Sunday. Prediction: Seahawks 24, Rams 20. 5 Tampa Bay Buccaneers at 4 Washington Football Team. The $50 million contract awarded to Tom Brady was money well spent. Brady had 40 touchdown passes, the second best single season total of his career, and 4,633 passing yards. The Bucs' high-powered offense led them to 11 wins in the postseason for the first time since '07. They'll take on the Cinderella Washington Football Team. after they captured the NFC West with a 7-9 record. It's easy to lock in a Bucs win here, but an upset is very possible. Bruce Arians' team went 1-5 against playoff teams, and the Tampa Bay offense really struggled against top-notch defenses. Ron Rivera is a defensive guru, and his unit finished first against the pass, second in yards, and fourth in scoring, and they recorded 47 sacks. That said, we're not sure if Terry McLaurin and Antonio Gibson are enough for Comeback Player of the Year frontrunner Alex Smith. The defense will make it interesting, but it's hard to pick against the 6-time Super Bowl champion. Prediction: Buccaneers 24, Washington 17. Divisional round AFC. 5 Baltimore Ravens at 1 Kansas City Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes is 3-0 against Lamar Jackson. The most recent meeting was a Monday night tilt at Baltimore in Week 3, where the Chiefs made a statement with a relatively easy 34-20 victory. Steve Spagnuolo's defense has kept Lamar Jackson at bay. Ravens defensive coordinator Don Martindale has lost every chess match to them. We do think the Ravens will keep this one very close, and it's possible they can win. It's not impossible. I mean, they're a really good team. It's worth noting that the Ravens have 7 road playoff wins under Harbaugh. But you know what? It's just too hard to pick against the NFL's best quarterback at Arrowhead Stadium. Prediction: Chiefs 28, Ravens 24. 3 Pittsburgh Steelers at 2 Buffalo Bills. If our calculations are correct, the Bills' Week 14 home win against the Steelers will have paid off tremendously with home advantage for this divisional round tilt. Pittsburgh's rushing offense was non-existent, while Ben Roethlisberger and the passing game struggled with consistency in the second half. But the TJ Watt and Minkah Fitzpatrick-led defense propelled Pittsburgh to 12 wins and an AFC North Division title. The Bills, of course, were mostly carried by the prolific passing game, led by Josh Allen and superstar wideout Stephon Diggs. The bonus for Buffalo is that their defense is good enough to steal a game if the offense has an off day. The same can't be said about the Steelers' offense, however. If their defense struggles, they likely have no hope, as we saw during their Week 14 loss to Buffalo. We give the edge to the Bills. Prediction: Bills 30, Steelers 20. NFC. 5 Tampa Bay Buccaneers at 1 Green Bay Packers. This would mark the first ever playoff showdown between Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers. We were awfully close to seeing Brady's New England Patriots against Rodgers' Packers in Super Bowl 49. 6 years later, we project the dream playoff showdown to finally happen. As you recall, the Bucs absolutely manhandled the Packers 38-10 in Week 6. Rodgers threw 2 interceptions, including a pick 6 to Jamal Dean, while taking 4 sacks. He didn't throw a single TD pass either. Todd Bowles' D put on a clinic that day, but that was also an uncharacteristically bad day for Rodgers, and it took place in Tampa Bay. We don't see Rodgers being fooled by the same blitz-heavy scheme again. Also, the Bucs rely way too much on the passing game, while Green Bay had the 7th best passing defense in the regular season. This rematch at Lambeau Field goes to Rodgers and the Packers. Prediction: Packers 34, Bucs 24. 3 Seattle Seahawks at 2 New Orleans Saints. Drew Brees and Sean Payton have lost to Pete Carroll's Seahawks twice in the postseason: the 2010 wildcard Beastquake game and the 2013 NFC Divisional Round. Both of those games took place in Seattle, however. This time, if our predictions are correct, the Saints will host the Seahawks at the Superdome. This is a nice matchup for New Orleans. Their resilient pass rush should make life difficult for Wilson, who was sacked 47 times in the regular season, and as admirable as Seattle's second half turnaround was on defense, they didn't really have the personnel to stop all of New Orleans' offensive weapons. In possibly his last hurrah, Brees lives to fight another day as the Saints get back to the NFC Championship game. Prediction: Saints 23, Seahawks 20. Championship weekend. AFC Championship. 2 Buffalo Bills at 1 Kansas City Chiefs. This seems to be the most popular pick for the AFC title game, and understandably so. The Bills and Chiefs are unquestionably the 2 best and most balanced teams in the conference. And Allen and Mahomes are only the 2 best quarterbacks in the AFC right now. This should be a thrilling showdown between the 2 young QBs, and it likely won't be the last time they square off in the conference championship. The Chiefs secondary often struggles to contain the opponent's best receivers, so it'll be interesting to see how they contain Diggs. Tre'Davious White likely gets Tyreek Hill, but we're not sure if the rest of Buffalo's secondary can contain the likes of Travis Kelce, Mecole Hardman, and Sammy Watkins. The long and short of this is that the Bills will have to win a shootout. You just don't contain Mahomes for a full 60 minutes. But as much as we love Allen's play, we just can't pick him against the guy who's been there, done that. Don't get me wrong, it's going to be very close. Prediction: Chiefs 33, Bills 27. NFC Championship. 2 New Orleans Saints at 1 Green Bay Packers. Somehow, in some way, Drew Brees and Aaron Rodgers have never faced off in a playoff game. According to our calculations, that all changes this postseason. The Packers narrowly beat the Saints 37-30 at the Superdome in Week 3. Worth noting, New Orleans didn't have Michael Thomas. Turnovers and penalties cost the Saints that game, and ultimately the top seed. Rodgers was the NFL's best player in the regular season, and the Packers had the better record, but the Saints are more balanced on both sides of the ball. If Marshawn Lattimore can't contain Devontae Adams, expect Dennis Allen to throw in double coverage. Take away Rodgers' best weapon, and the Saints' defense should hold the fort. Also, the Packers allowed 112.8 rushing yards per game in the regular season. The Saints can expose that unit with the duo of Alvin Kamara and Latavius Murray. And if Breeze is on his game, do the Packers have enough playmakers in the secondary to stop Kamara, Thomas, Emmanuel Sanders, and Jared Cook? Green Bay has home field advantage, but we feel like the Saints are the better team. And again, New Orleans won't want Brees' Hall of Fame journey to end in the freezing conditions of Lambeau. They reward him with an all-time thriller of a victory and get back to the Super Bowl. Prediction: Saints 32, Packers 28. Super Bowl 55. New Orleans Saints vs. Kansas City Chiefs. For the second straight year, we're picking a Saints-Chiefs Super Bowl, a rematch from their Week 15 showdown at the Superdome. The Chiefs are the NFL's best team. The Saints are the NFL's most balanced team. That's what brought us to this prediction. The many storylines would be epic. Sean Payton and Andy Reid are two of the best offensive-minded coaches of this era. The Saints want to give Breeze one last championship before he calls it a career. The Chiefs, of course, are trying to form the next great NFL dynasty. New Orleans defense actually gave Mahomes some problems in Week 15, sacking him 4 times while limiting him to just 256 passing yards. The Saints offense was sluggish as Breeze eased his way back from a 5-week hiatus after suffering fractured ribs. You have to think a healthy Breeze and Michael Thomas will make a difference this time around. When all is said and done, we have the Saints finally, ending the pain of all those gut-wrenching playoff losses. The Minneapolis Miracle, the Nola no-call, last year's overtime loss to the Minnesota Vikings in the wild card round. They've learned from it. The pain ends here. Breeze follows the footsteps of Elway and Manning and finishes his career as a Super Bowl champion thanks to MVP Alvin Kamara, who leads the way with 3 touchdowns. The Saints, for the first time in 11 years, are world champions. Prediction: Saints 31, Chiefs 28. Or we're wrong. Who knows? Could be the Chiefs, could be the Bills, could be the Washington football team. Who knows? Who do you think will win Super Bowl 55? Join me in the comment section below. Make sure to follow myself and TPS on social media. We post great content all the time. Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, everything. Go find us, go follow, go subscribe, do the whole thing. And if you like this video, give it a like. It takes 1 click down below, and subscribe to TPS. We post videos every day. Every day's a new video. Of course, thank you so much for watching. I hope your team wins the Super Bowl if you're in the playoffs. And if not, sorry.
My knee.